Knights of the Old Republic is one of my favorite games of all time, and while I wanted to be excited about the remake because of how cool the initial teaser looked, when we heard that Sam Max was part of the writing team, I became very worried. And then she quit, but now the project has been delayed indefinitely after multiple directors have been fired unexpectedly, even though it's been in development for years, meaning it is in development hell. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is a Bounding Into Comics article that I'm starting with. It says, insider sources claim Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake indefinitely paused following studio layoffs. Now this is so disappointing because even though initially we heard some information about the writing team that I wasn't a fan of, it's still Knights of the Old Republic, and there are still a lot of great things that they could end up doing with this game. But at this point, it doesn't sound like it's coming out for a few years, if they even decide to release it. It says sources claim that KOTOR's remake has been indefinitely delayed as the developer allegedly made the decision to pause the project. It says Bloomberg reports that according to people familiar with the project, a demo of the game was shown to Lucasfilm and Sony on June 30th, and the developer Aspyr, who had previously ported and re-released Star Wars games and more, were allegedly excited and felt the project was proceeding well. However, the following week saw two directors fired, the art director Jason Miner and the design director Brad Prince. Around that time, Miner posted on LinkedIn, "I am looking for work. If anyone has some leads or suggestions, please DM me. Thanks, #open to work." And Bloomberg proposed that this was an indication of how sudden the news was to Miner. Now, obviously, it is disappointing to hear that leads on projects are being fired and they have to end up replacing them, because these are the people who are typically the glue of the project. The leads, the directors, the designers are the most important people that are part of these projects a lot of the time, because they're the ones overseeing other developers, telling them what to do. They're the ones that are giving them the ideas and the kind of outlines of what they want the project to end up being. But to hear that these people were just up and fired very suddenly is very worrying. It says the outlet reported that Aspyr's studio heads reportedly told employees in a meeting the vertical slice wasn't where they wanted it to be, and so the project would be paused. Bloomberg sources also claim there was a series of meetings through July, and that the developer was looking at new contracts and development opportunities. Now, this is obviously very bad for Aspyr, but it's also very bad news for Lucasfilm. EA used to hold exclusive rights for publishing Star Wars games, and they decided to cut that agreement because they wanted to increase the output of Star Wars games and give other companies creative freedom with the franchise. And now giant titles like this are paused, and we're hearing that it could be 3 more years before this comes out. If they hit that goal, they still have to hire all of these leads back. It says, in addition, while Aspyr had told developers and relevant partners the remake would launch by the end of 2022, other developers felt 2025 would be a more realistic goal. Of course, Aspyr and Embracer have not responded to requests for comment, and I doubt they will. I was always very skeptical of the rumor that it would be releasing at the end of 2022. They only announced it last September, so I didn't think that that timeline really stuck. I just didn't really believe it. I thought maybe 2023, early 2024, but now we're hearing it's not even probably going to release until 2025. Now, there could be a lot of reasons that this is happening. Maybe they realized the people they had working on it were going to ruin it. Like Sam Maggs, maybe they hired a bunch of people who were making creative changes because they wanted to. Or maybe these developers didn't do what they wanted. They were giving a lot of pushback and they said, okay, we've got to rethink our teams here because they don't work well together and they're not working well with the higher ups. We don't really know, and I doubt we will anytime soon, but regardless, it's bad news because that means 3 more years on top of 3 years development time already. That is a lot of time poured into this project. Now, even though I do not like Sam Maggs and I was worried when she was part of this project, a few months ago she had announced that she decided to quit the remake for creative differences, and that's the only information we ever really got. But that was still worrying for a lot of people because she still was a lead writer. It says Maggs previously announced her involvement in the series back in September when the game was announced by Aspire Media, tweeting, "It's actually happening." In a subsequent tweet, she added, "Could not be any more honored and excited to be part of an incredible team at Aspire Media to remake one of my all-time favorite games," even though in the past she said that KOTOR wasn't one of her favorite games, so she's definitely flip-flopped. Of course, once she got hired for the project, she loved KOTOR, but before that, she just kind of said, meh, KOTOR. It says, however, on her website, she now claims she quit after working on the game for 9 months. She wrote, "I was on this project for like 9 months in 2021 and then I quit. You're gonna be okay if you email or message me about it. I won't see it. My filters are really good." Of course, she didn't actually want to talk to anyone about why she quit. Of course, she probably had contracts saying that she couldn't actually talk about the in-depth details, but she said that she quit. We don't actually know if she quit or if she was fired, whatever the case may be. She's not working on the project anymore. And then, hilariously enough, she decided to go work for Wizards of the Coast. And you know what? Wizards of the Coast can keep her. I've given up on WotC. I've given up on their games. They're free to do whatever they want. And if this is the type of person they want as a narrative lead, you guys go for it. But circling back to KOTOR, at this point, we don't really know what's going to happen with this project. We are talking at least 6 years of development time at this point, and there's even more rumors that they're going to hand this project off to Saber Interactive, and if that happens, that is a giant mess because, of course, a lot of the times when games are handed off to other development groups, they end up scrapping a lot of the work that's already been done, and that could mean more than 6 years development time. At this point, there are a lot of questions with not a lot of answers. I'm feeling very disappointed that this is being indefinitely paused following the studio layoffs, but I'll definitely keep up with the situation, and if there are any other details, I will make a follow-up video or short or even post it on Twitter. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.